So I've been lifting ever since I was 11 years old. I've tried CrossFit, I did Olympic weightlifting, and now I'm a powerlifter. And there are so many more possible ways to lift, like bodybuilding, but of course I can't do that because of my stomach. So today I would like to talk about why you should powerlift and why you should powerlift rather than doing the other lifting exercises. Powerlifting is basically focusing on the three main lifts, which is squat, bench, and deadlift. And you're doing it in a safe way, so it's all mechanical and everything. I will be convincing you of this by talking about how it's safer and it's a better way to get stronger, the benefits in the long run, and the powerlifting community overall. So to begin with, I'd like to talk about how it's safer and it's a better way to get stronger. In other exercises like CrossFit, for example, it consists of dynamic movements, and you use those dynamic movements over and over, and it puts stress on your joints all over your body. And those joints will eventually go bone on bone. It'll hurt every time you CrossFit. In a competition setting, when you do CrossFit, since you're swinging around all that weight, a person that's supposed to be spotting you has to be a little far away so he doesn't get hurt if you throw the weight around. Another way of lifting is strongman, which is basically CrossFit but with more weight, and you're lugging around logs and boulders, laps around a track. And like CrossFit, the spotters have to be far away because they don't want logs hitting them or rocks hitting them. In powerlifting, the lifts are more static, so you stay in one place, and all the movements are mechanical, so you don't really put much pressure on your joints, unlike continuous use. It's all just one swift movement and then you're done. And in a competition, if you were to compete in powerlifting, you would have a spotter on your left and on your right and behind you on all three lifts. And they would always be there. If you can't do the weight, they would spot you and keep you up just so you don't get hurt. And to my second point, because of the static nature of powerlifting, it's more beneficial in the long run. Daniel Braun, a reporter for Barbend, stated that in power training, it's not what you do that slows down the aging process. It's more of what you don't do. What you don't do in power training is there's no impact, there's no high repetition, and there's no constant weight on your shoulders. For example, it's better for the long run because the static nature of powerlifting is better in the long run because it keeps you stable, and you don't gotta move around a lot like CrossFit or and strongman, so you don't risk blowing out a shoulder or injuring a hip. And just yesterday I was at a powerlifting competition where there was this guy named Joe competing in the Masters division, and Masters division is basically people who are 60 years and older. And he was squatting and benching weight that was almost 400 pounds plus. And after the meet, I asked him, why'd you start powerlifting? And why powerlifting? And he had told me that he's 63 and he had only started powerlifting 2 years ago. So for a 61-year-old man to be able to squat 450 plus pounds, I mean, that's got to say something about powerlifting. And he said he chose powerlifting because it was more his style, unlike CrossFit, CrossFit and strongman, which affected his arthritis in the elbow joints and his knees. And that's why he chose powerlifting. And the whole time he was competing in the meet yesterday, everybody was like giving him energy. They were screaming at him like, yeah, you can do the weight. And he did the weight. And that brings me to my third point, which is the powerlifting community is an amazing and welcoming community. If anybody were to walk into a powerlifting gym with like no experience at all, powerlifters would come at you and be like, hey, what's up? My name is this and that, and do you got any questions? Do you need anything? I can help you. Do you need equipment? Do you need knee sleeves, a belt, anything? Just ask us, and we'll always be there to support you. These are the type of people that powerlifters are. They're always welcoming, and they're open. They hype each other up whenever they're doing big lifts. If a powerlifter were to ask for a spot just in case they can't do the weight that they're handling, then of course they would agree because like, hey, fellow powerlifters, I got you. I've been in other communities too, like I said at the beginning, I tried CrossFit and Olympic weightlifting. The Olympic weightlifting community is basically non-existent because there's really not many people that do that other than people in Russia and Japan. But the CrossFitting community that I was in was really toxic. If you weren't able to keep up with them, you would basically be booted out of the group. So take that from powerlifting, in which everybody rises together. I'd take powerlifting every time. So in conclusion, if you're looking for a safer and a better way to get stronger, and for people around you that have the same energy as you, I would take powerlifting every time. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
You missed it, man.
I know.
Are you gonna do it early too?
Yeah.
Okay, you got one person watching you. I got you. I'll stay.
I'm starting numbers now.
Yeah, it's